Aha. Hi guys, I've just had to change my live feed. For some reason, it wouldn't let me go live on the one I just set up. So I just give people a bit of time. Let's go. Hello, I have a viewer. Sorry, for some reason, I knew it would be you, Millie. I just set up a live feed and it just completely crashed and said it. So I've just had to set it up again. So hi Evie. It's very much of a hoping you can find me. I don't know. I reckon it's my internet connection. So I'm downstairs instead of upstairs and hope that will make a difference. Hello, Leah. Oh, Leah, could you please let me know at some point if you got my email about your essay? That would be fab. Okay, so we seem to have a couple of people in. And for you girls especially, this is going to be really, really useful because all of you have the ability, have that knowledge in your head to get 7 pluses. You all do. And there might be the obstacle with getting it from your head to paper and thinking, well, how do I can't get this across. I don't know how to get this across. That's where my P phrases come in and writing my paragraphs. But for you, I know that you can do this. I know you have that thought pattern in your head to be able to go, what else does this mean? Oh, actually, that makes me think of this. So fingers crossed, we're not going to cut out again. If anybody else is joining, I know I've got a few more joining. Can you just say hi so I know who you are? And we shall make a start. So, nice and simple. 7 pluses. It's what everybody dreams of. They're not as hard as you think for your literature, and you can use this skill in language as well. So in your question on your language papers about how the writer uses language too, this will work there too, okay? So essentially, in the mark scheme, as an examiner, what we're looking for those higher grades is somebody who is able to think outside the box, say something a little bit more than the obvious. And it's looking at your quotes, looking at your text and going, well, I know what this means. I can talk about it. What might it suggest? What else could be said here? And that's your 7 pluses. Okay, so I'm going to teach you really quickly, actually, simple 3-step process that you can use every single time that will help build up your answers. Okay, so here we go. Step 1. Essentially, you have your quote. Literally, what is the quote? What does it mean? What's it actually saying? Don't overthink it. Don't try and pick it apart. Just literally, what is happening here? And quite often, it's something very, very simple. She's waving, or they're leaving someone behind. So just think about the literal meaning. Now, that's important. A bit silly, but it's almost as if we start at grade 4 and show our basic understanding, and then we build it up. And the more we build it up, the higher the grade. But we've got to start at the bottom of the hill. So we've got to say, I understand what this is talking about. So that's your literal meaning of a text. Then what you would do, as I know you know, is then go to that quote and think, right, what words could I pick out of this? How could I maybe explain those words? Why perhaps have those words been used? And this is the start of moving from a 4 up to a 6-ish. Okay, so this is the next step where you'd go, okay, well, they've used the word rushed. So you would start with, again, the literal meaning. Start at the bottom of that mountain. Sorry, Rafe, I see you found us. I had to reboot because my live feed got lost, so I apologise, but welcome. You haven't missed too much. So we're doing our words. You identify the literal meaning. So if we're talking about rushed, literally, what does that mean? If we're rushing, somebody is trying to get somewhere quickly. Don't overthink it, just what is the word? Then you go to, oh, well, what else could it suggest? Well, if someone's rushing, perhaps They're not thinking straight, perhaps they're forgetting things, perhaps they're feeling panicked because there's an urgency to get somewhere. And that then is your what else could this suggest? So what you're doing is you're going, I know the literal meaning, grade 4, build it up, okay, pick some words out, start to analyze them, literal meaning, what they could suggest, 5 into your 6s. What does it potentially make you think of? Could go in there as well. And then this is the money, people. These are your gems right here. Step 3. How does it then link back to the text? How does it then link back to the characters, the themes, what it is you're actually talking about? So it's really important that you just follow this, and then your written answer, for those of you that go, well, yeah, I know it, but how do I write this down? You follow the same process. So we go, I've got my quote, right, what's it literally saying? This is happening. Right, let's pick some words out of it. What do they literally mean? Okay, what else could they suggest? Okay, makes me think of X, Y, Z. Right, so why has it been used here? How does that word link to that character? How does this link to this theme? How does this build a bigger picture? 7+. Okay, and the more of that you do, the higher you go. And that's pretty much in a nutshell how to do it. Okay, so 3 simple steps, and we're going to do one together now. And it doesn't matter if you haven't done this poem yet. We're going to look at poppies, which I know is on in a couple of clusters. If you don't know the poem Poppies, it doesn't matter. This is still going to work. Essentially, we have a poem here written from a female perspective about mothers, representing mothers, saying goodbye to their sons as they go off to war. And her kind of message is to not just remember the ones that have fallen and died, but to remember the ones that are left at home, the ones that gave up their sons, husbands to go to war. So that's the background behind poppies. And obviously a poppy is what we wear on our Remembrance Sunday. So we can relate to that. Oh, totally wearing a red dress. Didn't even do that on purpose. Clearly I'm a genius and I don't even know it. So red, we're going to talk about the colour of red and the symbol of red. And that's essentially poppies. So let's follow this through. We've got our quote. Spasms of paper red disrupting a blockade. So I've got nice simple quote here. What on earth is this talking about? Step 1, the literal meaning of this quote. He has a poppy on his blazer. Sounds ridiculous, but this is where we start. We start at the bottom and we start with, okay, so from this quote, we can see that it's talking about him having a poppy on his blazer. Benchmark, starting point, okay? If you stop there, we're on for a 3 and a bit, okay? So make sure we've got a bit of depth. Wearing a poppy. Step 2, and this is where we start to go into a little bit more detail. So we're going to pick some words out. Now I've gone with spasms, red, blockade. So if we think about those words, they're going to have a literal meaning. So again, we keep it fairly simple to start off with. Essentially, a spasm is an involuntary movement. That's what we have there. So a spasm, in its literal sense, is it's a movement. Okay? It's involuntary. We can't control it. If you have a muscle spasm, it can like really, really shake. And actually, it brings with it, and this is where we can go, well, that's the literal meaning, but what does it make me think of? Well, actually, it makes me think of pain, suffering, perhaps discomfort. So you'd have there a bit more depth. So we're improving our grade all the time. Start with our literal, makes me think of this, could be this, could be this, okay? Then we'd go with this word, right, so why might this have been used in this context? Well, actually, this could suggest, in terms of the poem, and this is where we hit our 7+, linking it to the text, this could then suggest the pain that he feels. So his pain. Perhaps there's a reference here to how he's going to die or how he did die. So he's going to die somehow in pain and suffering. Well, probably true because he's at war. But I want to say more because I want to go even higher in my grades. It also, or it could suggest the mother. She is also feeling pain. She is also suffering. She could be describing here her involuntary spasms that she's having. Sometimes, like if you really emotional, you cry loads, it's totally involuntary. Your whole body, you're just gone. So actually, we could take that even further, link that to her. Okay, that's literally it. You just do that as many times as you can. So we'll do another one. Red. Okay, didn't even plan that. Red, in its literal sense, red is a colour. That's it. Use the colour red. But very quickly, you're going to go, your brain is going to automatically go, yeah. But that makes me think of danger, blood, death, all those jolly, joyful things. Now I regret wearing red. That's what it sort of represents to me. Okay, step 3, how do I link that to my text, to my characters, to my themes? Well, red, obviously we've got death here. So this is some sort of almost like a warning, this idea of danger. Red are stop signs, road signs are red to warn us that there's danger, to tell us to stop. So that's kind of where I get this idea that there's a warning to him. It could even be his blood. This idea that as she's pinning the poppy onto him, she sees, that's what she can see. She knows that's what that's going to represent, that he's going to die. That's his blood. So there's lots there that you could take a bit further. And then finally, got to do this one, blockade. Okay, now there's quite a bit to this one. On a literal level, what does it make me think of? A blockade, quite simply, is a physical barrier. Okay, so we've got a physical barrier, and it's actually used essentially to isolate. The idea of it blocking, okay, so it's isolate or to block something physically, to close a place, basically to stop something going into there or coming back. That's a blockade, that's what it's doing. So I've done my literal, that's what it is. What does it make me think of? It kind of makes me think of, to be honest, something in this terms, quite hostile actually, quite aggressive, quite forceful. Something that's not, it's not pleasant, okay? And then we go 7 pluses. How does this relate to my text? Well, this is an interesting one. We could go with, well, to be honest, this is just a physical blockade. So this is going to be his experience. This is potentially what's going to happen to him. He's going to meet blockades. That's going to happen. That keeps you kind of at a low sort of analysis of that level. But there's more that you can say here. This is why I like this one, because we have this physical barrier here. As she's waving him off, he's going to war. So we could have his experience. Perhaps this is how he dies, because we don't know. There's a reference there. Perhaps this is kind of how he goes. Maybe he has a hostile environment. Maybe he gets surrounded, physically blocked by the enemy. He gets attacked. That's how he dies. So we could talk about that one. Or clever people among you might think, I'm going to go a little bit further with that. I want to talk about the mother again, because it's her voice in the poem. And actually, when I talk about her, there's loads of things about a blockade, because this is essentially how she feels. This is her feelings, okay? She wants to stop him going. She doesn't want him to go off to war and die. She wants to have that physical barrier to stop him leaving the house, but she can't. So perhaps there's that kind of emotion there of having to let him go, having to say goodbye. So she wants to block him. She can't be that barrier. So she can't block him. She has to let him go. But also it could be that she kind of, it's a blockade of her emotions. So for those of you that have done this poem, she describes the fact that she's holding it together because she almost like she doesn't want to break down in front of him. And this is like into nines of you taking a word and stretching it further, because you're kind of saying, well, hold on a minute, this could be a physical emotion she's feeling, that there's almost a blockade within her, that she's holding on to that sobbing and that extreme sense of loss that she's going to feel until he's gone. She doesn't want him to see it. She's trying to protect it. She's put up a physical barrier, a blockade to hold it all in. Now that's thinking quite deeply. That's why that goes up to the nines. So as you can see, it's a really simple three-step process. You're just going to go, what's my quote? First of all, its literal meaning. Write that in your first sentence. Then go to town, big time, on what's my word. And loads of people make the mistake of going straight in to start talking about it. But actually, follow the step. Well, spasm means this. Makes me think of this, therefore could suggest this or this. So you can build that as you go down, as you go through. And that will help you. So once we've done all of this and we've written about all of these, we're absolutely exhausted and you've nailed an amazing paragraph, you've then got to think, okay, well, what's my point here? What's this all about? So you'd have to think, from all those ideas I have, what's this quote trying to represent? Perhaps we could have the reality of war, but also it's the reality of those left behind. But also that comes with that reality is this sense of pain, physical pain, emotional pain from the mother. Okay, we have that sense of pain and that sense of loss. Okay, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is how to take a quote, start at the literal, build it up and build it up and build it up. And the more you say, the higher your grade. I mean, it really is. It sounds like simple, that's simple. Now, if you've got techniques in there, then you're going to have, this is the metaphorically, this shows this. The use of the simile is important for this. So essentially, that's what we've got there, okay? That's how it works. And I'm hoping that that makes sense. Because if you, for your poetry, take each poem, choose one or two quotes from each poem and do this, then actually you're not learning 16 poems, 15 poems. What you're learning is just a couple of quotes from each in this much detail, smashed it. Okay, that's where you're at. You just go, take the best bits. I've got so much to say here, and you link it to the question. You link it and kind of tweak it slightly to whatever they're asking you to do. Rafe, yes, I can talk about all of this for a quote from the exam. Poppies, pretty sure if you're love and relationships or conflict for AQA, Poppies is on there. Is there a specific text you guys want me to do? Because I was thinking what we could do in these sessions is a really quick, all the key texts, and we could just go, key quote for this character, break it down. Key quote for this theme, break it down. We could just go through them. But I'm pretty sure Poppies was on yours. If it's not, I apologize. Yes. If you tell me what you would like me to do it on, what text do you want me to do this for? And I'll put that together for you. Okay, Ray, cool. So absolutely, guys, before you disappear today, if you're thinking, do you know what, I'd really like that in a grade 9 detail. Is it not, Rafe? Oh, it should be. So in that case, could you all send me a message saying, please could you do this for this text, or please could you do this for this character, or please could you do this for this poem? And I can then put together a list of all the things that you would like, and each week we can do a quick kind of grade 7+ language analysis. We can make a little club. I love it. So that is your skill in a nutshell. You do that, you get good grades. That's it, people. So I know there's a huge delay in me talking to you and you guys responding, but just so you guys know, I'm not here next week, but then Frankenstein, please, characters, cool, Rafe, I can do that. I'm not here next week, but then I'm back the following week, so I will let you guys know, okay? And I can put it either on my, probably go on my Facebook and my Insta. So if I know you guys are on there, so make sure you're following me, and then I can just say before the session, this is what we're doing tonight. And then if you are doing Frankenstein, join in. If you're not, don't, or join in anyway, because it's a really useful skill. Evie, I love you. Evie just needs help with everything. Evie, what texts? Because if I know the texts, I can do that. Because I know I've got, like, Evie's doing different poems to the rest of you, and Millie as well. So it's trying to get stuff that's going to help everybody. Inspector calls, I know people find quite easy, but if I know what your other texts are, we can do like week in and week out. I'd absolutely recommend, even if you're not studying Jekyll and Hyde, and I do something on Jekyll and Hyde like today, just looking and taking part and following the process as I break down quotes is going to help you do it, because you're going to do it in the exam on your own. You've got to do it for unseen poetry on your own. You've got to do it. You've got to do it in your language paper 1 and your paper 2. So this skill is without doubt the most important skill you need, because it comes up on every single paper, language and literature. So that's why I thought this was a good place for you to get used to breaking it down, breaking it down, breaking it down. Okay, so I'm done, unless you guys have got any specific questions. Rafe, I'll absolutely put something together for Frankenstein. It won't be next week. It will be the following week. For those of you who don't know, I have gone mental. I'm on TikTok, and I'm hoping that we could move them live onto TikTok instead of on here, because I think there's a bit more interaction. So that's my plan. But again, if I do that, I will let you all know. Do not worry. And I can put something on this channel as well. But I'm going to just see what it's like when we come back. Okay. You're very welcome, Rafe. Yes, Millie, Jekyll and Hyde. I think Evie, you might be Jekyll and Hyde too. So perfect, guys. I won't see you next week because I will be on a beach, socially distancing from everyone, probably having a terrible time. But fingers crossed I'll be okay. And then when I return, we'll go through Jekyll and Hyde, Frankenstein. And if you think in the meantime, oh, specific poems, I need this poem, I don't understand this poem, or I need a really good quote from here, please just drop me a message. When you see my things come up, just go, oh, miss, can you do this? Can you do this? And that's no problem at all. Okay. You guys are fab as always. I love having you lot, like my little group on a Wednesday. It's so cool. Okay, I'm going to make a list of this. Frankenstein, everything for Evie, that's fine. So Evie, just be here every week. And Jekyll and Hyde. I will have fun in the sun. Okay, guys, pleasure as always. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you soon, okay? Have a wonderful summer break, because we're on summer break now. Yeah. And I'll see you all later. Love you guys. Bye.